It is my pleasure to be in your midst and to deliver this lecture on planning for retirement. Planning for retirement. It is a lecture that cut across all of us. As long as we find ourselves in the service or working environment, it is sure and believe that whether we like it or not, one day we will exit from the service. And that is why it is very, very important that we duly plan for this journey. Before we go further by looking at how to plan for retirement, we first and foremost need to understand what retirement is all about. When we talk of retirement, it means detachment from primary activities, whether in a company, in a government establishment, trade, or a full activities where an individual works as a full-time employee. When you talk of retirement, it means that works end. Somebody that has been on activities as a full-time, and you find out that at a particular time, the work stops. It means one retires. No matter how long you work in a place, the journey must come to an end at a particular time. One day you will join a service. One day you will definitely exit from the service. Retirement begins when a person reaches a particular age or has put in a length of time in a service. And if you look at it in Nigeria, we talk that when an individual in the civil service reaches the age of 60 years, or after he or she must have put in 35 years in the service, we say, yes, it is time for such an employee to go. We have different types of retirement. One, we have what we call voluntary retirement. We also have what we call compulsory retirement. And we can also talk about mandatory or statutory retirement. When you talk of voluntary retirement, it's where an employee decides on his own to quit a service for personal reason, irrespective of his or her age or the number of years he or she has put into the service. And this could result as a result of a medical advice. At times, because of health issues, advice can go that it is time for you to leave. And even individual on his own can quit a service. It could be due to relocation. Probably you are working and you feel you want to leave the country and move to another country. That will give room for what you call voluntary retirement. Compulsory is where an employee is forced or compelled to retire. And here, when you say compulsory, it's always against the wish of an employee or an individual. And this happens due to inefficiency, old age, corruption, falsification, and indiscipline. But basically, compulsory means that it is against the wish of such an individual at that particular time. But it is hanged on certain things that is forced or compelled to leave service. Mandatory is where an employee reach what we call a statutory age, or as put in the required length of service as stipulated in the establishment of an organization or government establishment. So you see that irrespective of the number of years you are putting into a service, either we like it or not, as I said earlier on, a time will come that one will need to exit himself or herself out of a service. Why some will say, I happily retire. When they look back, we find out nowadays, some will say, did I even retire at all? Or exhibiting a life on unhappy retirement period. And this boils down to the fact that how do you plan concerning your retirement? There are various problems of retirement in Nigeria, which can be categorized into two. You talk about problem that has to do with the pension fund and problem associated with individuals. When you look at the pension fund, it has a lot of problems. From the legal framework, which hinders us as a civil servant to embark on any other activities apart from farming. The law says that as a civil servant today, you cannot embark on any form of business activities apart from farming. But it's a major challenge to modern days situation when it comes to planning for retirement, which you are going to look at later. We also have a problem of delay in payment of retirement benefit. We have heard of people that after retiring 2-3 years, they've not been able to get their money due to bureaucracy, administrative lapses, and so on and so forth. So, which means that you must take the bull by the horn now and start to plan for your retirement. We have also heard of mismanagement and misappropriation of funds, pension fund. Recently, we heard of the man that has just been sentenced to 8 years imprisonment, though there have been a kind of other school of thought that why 8 years? If you look at what is involved and lives that have been lost, how people have been bastardized because of this greediness of an individual. So we have a series of mismanagement and misappropriation of funds over the years, which has been a challenge to pension fund. We also have problem of lack of institution for career guidance to prepare people towards retirement. Thank God for Lagos State in recent time now that some months to your retirement, they organize all kinds of seminars to prepare the retirees towards the challenges ahead of them. But as an individual, we have major problem boiling down on lack of proper planning. A lot of people never thought that a time will come that they are going to retire. Therefore, they never plan for it at all, and which has always been a major challenge when they eventually retire. There is also inadequate pension education. We also have lack of adequate information on retirement challenges in Nigeria. So the situation is so distressing that today, people that are working, when they look forward to their time of retirement, they feel discouraged. They feel dejected. And some will be thinking what will come after them when they eventually retire. And that is why it is very important that we really plan for our retirement. What is planning for retirement? To plan for retirement now means that you are planning for financial security. You want to plan for your financial security when you eventually retire. It takes planning and commitment to achieve this. And when we say financial security, we are looking at what we call money. And the money we are talking about is liquid cash. Ceaseless cash flow is the heart of what? Retirement. As an individual, when you retire, what you need to maintain your own self and your family is money. You must plan that money now so that it can begin to bring forth seed for you during your retirement period. And this is what majority are supposed to do when it comes to planning for retirement. You must identify your retirement income now. That if I retire today, how much will be my income to sustain me? And how am I going to ensure that that income continues to come? You must determine your expenses. So that why you need to determine that is to match it against your income so that you'll be able to live a better life at the point of your retirement. And that is why you must create saving and have what you call investment plan. You must save now and you must have investment. When you say invest, to invest does not mean that you just invest in anything. You must invest in what you call assets and not liability. Assets, what we talk about assets here goes beyond the normal accounting definition of asset. For example, when you talk of buying cars, to an accountant and recording that is what? An asset. To buy car is good, but in this scenario, it's a liability. It's not an asset. Because the car you purchase now with millions of naira will depreciate over a time frame. And in the future, it is not going to bring you any income to match what you put in now. And that is why when we say invest in assets, it means investing on things that will generate income for you, not things that you continue to spend money upon. We must understand that. You must look into the future, because planning will allow you for much easier life in what? Retirement. Now you must start saving. Keep saving and stick to your goal. We will look at all this as we go. Many individuals today are at the verge of exit and not confident about their tomorrow, about their futures, about what is going to, how their life will look like eventually when they what? Retire. The major reason for this is lack of confidence, because there is absence of retirement planning. What is the best time to begin planning for retirement? This is a question that a lot of people ask. That I have been working, I have just joined the service, I have put 5 years into the service, I have put 10 years into the service. What time is the best time for me to start planning? Irrespective of the number of years you are putting, whether you are just coming in, you are putting 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I will answer it that the best time for you to plan for your retirement is now. If you have not done that before, you must start now, and it is now, now, and now. And I think it is the purpose of this seminar is to open our mind. If you ask questions from people, are you planning for retirement? A lot of people will say, yes, I'm planning. But are you sure you are really planning? And that is why I said it is now. You can never be too young to plan for life after you retire. Some will say, I've just joined service. I have 35 years, 30 years to spend in the service. I will wait till the next, when it's 5 years for me to go. That is erroneous. It's not going to give you any advantage. Therefore, you must start the journey now. And I want you to know, nobody can plan your retirement for you. It is you yourself that can really plan your what? Retirement. Don't wait that the government will do it for me. Some will say when I'm going, my friends will donate for me. The ministry or department I'm working will organize something for me. But that is erroneous. It is only you that can really plan your retirement, and it's you that can do it for yourself. And therefore, you must think of it right now. Long-term planning will make you to achieve the goals of retirement. When you plan and have a long-term plan, it will make you to achieve so many things that when it's about 2 years, 3 years to retirement, you begin to run up and down. Why don't you start now? What are the benefits to really plan for retirement? It will make you to enjoy your retirement years with ease. And that is why when you see those that really plan for retirement, you see all those, our forefathers, our babas, that they enjoy during that period reading papers, listening to news. Why? Because something somewhere is working for them. You will see them changing cars every year. You will see them painting their house every year. And you'll be asking, where is the money coming from? It's because they have really planned for their what? Retirement. And therefore, we must take that step and think the way they acted, so that when eventually we too retire, we can enjoy our retirement years. It also gives you psychological, physical, mental, and financial balances. When you plan for your retirement, you have psychological balances, physical balances, mental balances. It's not that you will be thinking you want to do something and the money is not forthcoming. It will give you psychological setback. But when you plan and you know whatever you are going to need in your retirement is coming as at when due. You will be sound mentally, psychologically, and physically. It's a great way to take advantage of compound interest now. That whatever plan you have, which you are going to look into as we go, how we can really plan and what we can do. When you start now, you enjoy what you call compound interest advantages. Let me quickly digress that when you put in 1 naira today, it can generate income of 10 naira, 20 naira for you tomorrow, which you have been able to achieve benefit on whatever you are putting in. Also, achieving your retirement goals well in advance, and that will give you that you don't even need to wait till 35 years before you throw in if you have really planned. And that is why you see some people on their own. We have talked about different types of retirement. On voluntary level, they say, I am tired of this service. I want to relocate to UK, Canada. Or I want to stop the civil service job. I want to start a new business. Why? Because it's not that they just wake up to take such a decision. It's because they have really planned towards it. Retirement planning should include: 1, you must determine your time horizon. Your age now and the length of service that you are putting will determine the kind of strategy that you will adopt. There is one thing that is so paramount. Everybody knows his age. Everybody knows when you join the service. Even if you lie, you begin to doctors. It will come to a time you can't doctor again. It will catch up with such an individual, either by age or the length of service you are putting. The longer time between today and your retirement, the higher the level of risk your portfolio can withstand. When you have your portfolio, which is a collection of various investments, ability to manage that collection of investment over a long period of time will give you the power to minimize risk associated. The more you are on a thing, the more knowledgeable you are, the more you are able to reduce your risk. And that is why a lot of people will retire and they will get their money. A business they have no idea of. Somebody will sell the domain to them and they want to venture into it. And they put money and the money just go down the drain like that. A whole pension money collected. It means that they are operating on a pedestrian of a high risk level. But when you have a length of time to think, to deliberate, to ask questions, you are doing what? To reduce your risk. And you'll be able to achieve good results. What you need to do is first start by listing 30 retirement goals on a sheet of paper. When you say list, at times you ask people, if you retire, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve? Some will say, I don't have an idea. But on your own, sit down and list your retirement goals. If I retire tomorrow, these are the things that I want to achieve. These are the things or what I want to be, where I want to be. It has been established that the first 10 are easily to identify. We say list 30. When you look at the first 10, when on your own you can try it. When you look at the first 10, there will be things that you can easily identify because they are the first thing that will come to your mind. The last 10 make you discover your inner dreams. These are the ones that will come, maybe through your dreams, through ideas coming your way. You can do this, you can achieve this, you can go to this place, you can venture into this thing, and so on and so forth. The last 10, the next 10 is harder to recognize. Why the last 10 will discover your inner dreams. Arrange this go into short, medium, and long term. Short means that those ones you can achieve within a shorter period of time, maybe 1 year, 2 years. Mediums are those ones that you can achieve within 5, 6, 7, 8. And the long term is what you can achieve maybe 5, 10, 6, and so on and so forth. When you assign naira value to them, that is to give you the level at which you need to make provision for financial backing if it's required for you to achieve such a thing. Prepare your retirement budget need, which you need to do. You must know income that when you retire, that will be coming into your purse. You must know the expenses that when you retire, you will be incurring, and you'll be able to match the two together, whether there will be over or under. Because it has been established that whether you like it or not, when you retire, you will need 70 to 90% of your retirement income to meet your goal. If today you are earning 100,000 naira and you retire tomorrow, you should expect that what 100,000 is doing, at worst, 70% of it, you must be able to be doing. And you must be getting 70% of what? 100,000. If you want to sustain yourself. And therefore, you must plan how to achieve that this 70% of the income is duly being made what? Available. We have retirement time horizon based on date of birth. And what do we mean by that? Some will say, yes, I don't know when I'm going to leave the service. But there are two guides for us to know exactly when to leave. It's either by your date of birth or by your length of what? Service. When you look at it, I have a table here that shows our retirement time horizon based on date of birth. If your date of birth is 1961, nobody needs to tell you that you are leaving the service this year, whether you are born January or December. Nobody. If you know you are born in 1962, just know that by 2022, you are leaving the service. For somebody that was born in 1968, you should plan that by 2028, you are to leave the service by age. And if you are born in 1980, it means that you have a length of time to leave, and you will be leaving service by 2040. So, with this table, nobody needs to tell you. You yourself knows when to go by age. Also, if it is by the time you join the service, and that is based on date of employment, you should also know when you are leaving. For those that came in 1986, joined the service in 1986, no matter how they doctor, they will leave service by this year. So if you came into the service in 1992, you should know that by 2027, you are to exit the service. For people that came in 2004, still have 17 years in the service, and those one will be going by 2029. So you can see the two now based on time horizon, whether left or right. You know exactly when to leave. It's either you are captured by your age or you are captured by the length of what? Service, whichever one that come first. So it means that you must start to plan based on that. And secondly, for us to plan for our retirement, you must determine your retirement spending needs. And how do we determine it? You know where you are going, whether by age or by length of service. It is sure that you are going to what? Retire. So you must determine your spending need on retirement. Calculate how much you need to save for retirement and start in what? Earnest. Some will say, I can't save. Who says so? That you cannot save. We have been using GSM for so many years. If you are on Airtel line, one day call them and tell them to print your statement for you. It will tell you how much you have born through 500, 100 naira recharge card. And if you say save 100, save 500, he says it's not possible. We will look at that later. Your retirement spending habit will help you to determine the required size of your portfolio. We have said portfolio is a collection of investment. So, your habits, what you want to achieve when you retire, will give you an idea of the kind of portfolio you are going to maintain now. Because that portfolio must be an asset portfolio that will yield income. And it is this income that you are going to use to maintain your bodies and soul and extended family. Therefore, you must plan towards it. I have said earlier on that it has been established that whether you like it or not, 70 to 90% of your pre-retirement income will be required of you to maintain your standard. And that is why a lot of people retire because they never have a good plan. Within a shorter period of time, it shows on them. And you begin to ask questions. Have you seen Mr. Lagbaja? Is it him or her? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí? It's because he cannot maintain his standard again. So when you know that you are to retire, you can cut some expenses, but you can't cut it down to 70 to 90. You will need 70 to 90 because your lifestyle is already established for years. Therefore, you must plan that when I retire, there must be an investment or portfolio that will give me 70 to 90% of my pre-retirement income. And this could be erroneous, where you have mortgage or loan to settle, or medical bills, or school bills. What do you mean by that? It is wrong for you to say you want to retire and you are retiring into a mortgage to service which you have not fully paid. We will look into that later. Before you retire, you must settle all kinds of loans for you to have an easy life. If not, it will choke such an individual. Some retires because they don't maintain their bodies and soul well. They retire and they experience all kinds of sicknesses. They have overlabored themselves when they are in active service. They don't have time to rest. They want to showcase they are the Hogar, they are all in all. Rather to allow works to be shared by many people, they carry it upon themselves. And this begins to affect their health when they retire. We also look at that. Some retire, especially men among us. It is then they begin to give back to small. At retirement, you are still running up and down to look for school fees and paper, look for money for Pampers. So that will affect us psychologically, mentally, and physically, which you are going to look into. Some expenses such as healthcare may be higher later in life, while some, like clothing, may decline. And that is why today, which you are going to look, you need to maintain yourself, your body and soul, so that when you retire, you will not be spending money on health. Some people retire, but they begin to spend a lot of money.
I need Ican chapter.
And that shall not be our balance. What you spend depends on how you live during retirement. And that means that today, you must take charge of your financial future. If you expect to travel widely when you retire, you must plan for it now. Because it's not cheap, and you must look for money to do that. While you are still working, you must plan. We said one of the ways to plan for retirement is to save. And we said start saving, keep saving, and stick to your goal. As I said, some will say, I don't know how to save. We have said you know your age, you know the length of service, and you know when to go. And when is the time to start planning for retirement? We said it is now. If you have not been doing it, you can start now. When you start saving, and look at the table we have, somebody that put in 100 naira per day, in 12 months, such individual will have saved 36,500. In 5 years, such an individual will have saved 182,500. In 10 years, 365,000. In 15 years, 547,500. Just because he's putting 100 naira every day. I know as an accountant, what will come to our mind, time value of money. Let's leave that for now. We are talking of culture. Cultures of what? Saving. If you put in 500 naira per day, okay. If you put in 500 naira per day, you see that in 365 days, you will have been able to save 182,500. And in 15 years, you will be able to save 2,737,500. Am I communicating? If you put in 1,000 naira every day, just be putting it somewhere every day, you find out that in 1 year, 12 months, you must have been able to save 365,000 naira. In 5 years, 1,825,000. And in 15 years, 5,475,000. And it goes like that. If you put in 5,000 naira per day, you must have been able to put in 1.8 million in 12 months. And in 10 years, 18.2 million. But the question people always say, where am I going to get the money to save? And I ask question, where do you get money to recharge your phone? Some burn 1,000 naira per day talking. Abi? By recharging. If you have the same culture of know that you need to put 1,000 naira and recharge every day because you want to go into Instagram, you want to watch Facebook, you want to go into all kinds of things, and you are burning that away, why don't you plan for your future by saving towards that? Some we have friends and say, let's go to a corner. And within a city, you can spend 5,000. When you make friends to be happy, have you made yourself happy? The friends that you are making happy, planning for their own retirement, and making you to make them be happy. And the adage you say that ento God ló gbé gunuko, ento tó gbọ́n ló ṣe kíni ló ń gbowó ẹ̀. Every evening, some will close. I'm not saying to enjoy is bad, but we are only telling ourselves the bitter truth that we need to plan. Start saving, keep saving, and stick to your goals. Saving is a rewarding habit. Whether we like it or not, it is really a rewarding habit. Look at some years when we are kids. Our parents will make kolo for us. When people visit us, they say, go and put it in your kolo. Go and put it there. But at the end of the year, when they open it, you will be surprised how much you are going to get there. Are we still going in that culture? It's part of planning. If you don't plant now, you cannot expect to pluck tomorrow. Saving is to plant to be able to pluck tomorrow. Make saving for your retirement a priority. Saving for retirement is a habit we need to abide and live with. Join cooperative society and open a saving account. Even if you cannot do it on your own, why don't join a cooperative society? I could remember the first day I joined the service, and I met my Oga then, Chief, late memory Chief Ororo. He was the president of the cooperative society at that time. And he forced all of us that came in at that time, say, you must join cooperative society. Recently, I asked them to print my statement. And I look at how much I have there. And I say, wow. Are we there? So start saving, keep saving, and stick to your goals. It's never late to start. If you have not been doing, I'm telling you, it's never late. You can start now. Put your saving in different type of what? Investment. And that is why your mindset will go as an accountant. Time value of what? Money. It's not enough just to save and keep the money idle. Think of what you have saved. What kind of investment can you put? But if you do not save, you cannot invest. But your saving will drive your investment. When you look into your account that you have 1 million naira, 200,000, 500,000, and you don't want the money to be just lying fallow there, you will think of what you can put the money on. As I said, don't invest on liability. but you should invest on what? Asset. Buying car is good. It's a necessity. But buy the car that will make you motorable and take you from one place. I could remember I was talking to one of my staff sometime because he had issues with the landlord. I said, landlord asked them to leave the house. I said, why now? Are you owing rent? He said, no. Said they had issue. What is the issue? Said the parking issue. I was interested. What is the parking issue? You are living in a landlord house and you have 3 cars. You get it? And funny enough, I asked him, you have 3 cars in a landlord house? Do you have a place you are developing? He said, no, they are still thinking about it. And these are some of the mistakes a lot of us make. When the money comes like that, what comes to our mind is to buy cars. What comes to our mind to buy the latest phone, but not thinking of how to put the money. To buy jewelries and gold, not to think of where to put the money to yield us good return and plan for our what? Retirement. Put your saving in different type of asset. That is asset investment and not what? Liability. Number 4, create multiple income streams. Part of planning for retirement is to create multiple income streams. Create additional income stream that will bring in cash, which could be used to boost your investment at now and supplement your retirement later. Government says that you cannot venture into any business activity except farming. But government does not say that your money cannot work for you. Did government say that? So don't go into the business, but send your money an errand. Let your money work for you. Don't wait until you are ready for retirement to figure out what you want to do. Figure it now and start in what? Earnest. A lot of people will wait when it is about 1:45. That is when they will be saying, if I retire, what am I going to do? No, you don't need to wait. Begin to figure it. Everybody is blessed with one thing or the other. Think of what you feel that you know how to do best and begin to work towards it. This could be achieved through writing a book. If you are very good in writing, you can write a book. Government does not say, as a civil servant, you cannot write a book. So why don't you write a book? And that book, you'll be getting royalty on it, even till one die. You can venture into small-scale business, farming, and politics. Initially, law says we can't be join politics, but now it's liberal. You can join politics. And whether we like it or not, politics is a business now. It's a business. A lot of people join politics and they are planning towards the retirement. Immediately they retire, they become Baba Saleh in their world. Immediately they retire, they appoint them as a commissioner. They appoint them as a board member, as of rep member. If they have not planned towards it, they can't achieve that. If you want to go into farming, start now. Small scale, medium scale, before you move into large scale. Don't wait that when I retire, I will start to go into farming. Error. If you are endowed spiritually, you can go to spiritual college Today, if you become a pastor, it's part of planning for your retirement. So, when you are pastoring a brand, a church, income will be coming in. Eh? And if you are a Muslim, you can become Afa. And nowadays, you have them all around, also organize crusade, organize meeting, and do prayers. And money will come in. It's part of planning for your retirement. Skill acquisition that can bring additional income. Why don't you embark on skill acquisition? I'm a chartered accountant does not mean that you cannot learn a trade. I'm a chartered accountant does not mean that you cannot become a cobbler. You cannot become a tailor or a fashion designer. Or you cannot become a furniture maker. I have seen a lady who is a chartered accountant and housemaster working in a bank and resign to learn fashion designing. Today he opened a shop. She opened a shop and you find out that a lot of people patronizing her is making hell of money, lot of money. Who says as a chartered accountant you can't learn a trade? When you do that, you are planning for your what? Retirement. If it is all about acquiring skill, it is not a technical issue. Web designing is a way to learn. Technology, you can learn it. You will sit down at home, be a consultant to a lot of people. So don't say I'm a chartered accountant, I should be only on debit and credit. Why don't think of diversifying your knowledge? What you can learn that in your inner house you can be doing and can be bringing money for you when you eventually what? Retire. The Lord does not say you can't do all these things. You can also invest in bond shares and life insurance. The little money you have now, why don't you plant it as a seed in investing in companies? We have a lot of our papas that when they retire, there are various reasons why you buy shares in a company. Some buy shares for immediate return in terms of dividend. Some buy shares because they want capital appreciation, they want to delay it for a number of years, and after some years, they dispose it of and they recoup their money. So why don't you think of that? That the little fund you have now, put it into shares of a company and look at it that you are investing it there, that when you retire, you want to sell, you'll be able to recoup your capital and have gain. Don't use all what we have now to socialize. You can also invest in real estate, real property, such as land, buildings, and other improvements. If you buy land in a place today for 500,000, leave it for 10 years, you can sell it for 10 million. So, and those are the things that we need. By investing in real estate, you can generate passive income as your rental property will work for you. When you have a land and you fence it, and it's there, people will approach you. We want to use it for farming. No problem, you'll be paying me rental fees on monthly basis, and you are getting money from there. We want to use it for church. No problem, you'll be paying me monthly. You are getting money from there. We want to be trading there. Just the land. We are not going to pull any structure. It's your property. No problem. You are getting income there. But if you have not been able to put that money in, when the place was bush, when the place become town now, you will not reap that benefit. Number 5, Maintain a good financial comfort. Financial comfort means ability to manage your life in a satisfying and fulfilling way, using the financial resources you have. The most important thing you require in retirement is to have a good financial comfort. Financial discomfort contributes to retirement stress. Then your financial plan becomes a negative rather than a positive. When one retires and you have a financial discomfort, you cannot get money when it's needed. You want to buy fuel into your car, you can't get the money. You want to buy recharge card that you are buying it now and you are burning away, you can't get the money. It will bring psychological discomfort. And it ages. And it makes one to look ragged and become unhealthy. So you must plan to have a good financial comfort. And for you to achieve that, try to maintain 3 types of bucket. Now, maintain 3 types of bucket. Bucket number 1 is what we call essential bucket. This is a bucket required to pay for all your basic needs. You want to buy food, you can get money. You want to buy recharge card, you can get the money. You want to pay for your NEPA bill, you can get the money. This is what you call essential bucket. 2, lifestyle bucket. My lifestyle is different from your lifestyle. Each lifestyle is different from the other lifestyle. You know your lifestyle. For you to maintain and achieve your lifestyle, you must keep what you call a lifestyle bucket. And this is where we find those things that you dream of doing in retirement. Maybe you dream to travel. You must plan for it now. You dream to be painting your house every year. You must plan for it now. You dream that every Christmas you want to be celebrating, and you will call all family members to come and jolly with you, that will gop a lot of money. You must have that lifestyle now. So you must maintain that lifestyle bucket now for you to achieve that in what? Retirement. You must also keep what you call net egg bucket. This is what will accommodate emergency, unexpected, that may arise in retirement. Things you never thought of now, you never planned of now, but just come suddenly. So instead of running up and down, you have where to run to. You have what to fall up back to. And this is what will form your legacy. And that is why you see some retired men and women. They say, this Baba, when he was alive, we know him every year. And so on. Every year, every Christmas, he loves to go to London to go and rest. As a Muslim, he goes to Umrah. As a Muslim, he goes to Hajj. So for you to be doing that in retirement, you must plan for it now. Number 6, think about where you want to live in retirement and plan your lifestyle. This is damage. It is embarrassing, unbelievable, and so sad. For after working for 35 years, somebody retired and nowhere to retire to. And for you to enjoy your retirement, you must plan where to live. This is not an hearsay. Even in our service, a director level 17 has retired and chased out of the government house and crying. In fact, the day it happens, somebody right there called me. The man was crying and said, I don't have a place I want to go. And he retired in the state service, level 17. So, you must think of where do you want to retire to. Design where you want to spend your time on retirement. Have a personal house. Have. It's a must. If you are in a house, you have not eaten, or you don't have what to eat, nobody will know. But if you are in a landlord house and you owe your landlord the rent, everybody will know whom you are. If your landlord is a friend to you, it's because you are still paying your house rent. So part of the planning for retirement is to think, where am I retiring to? Personal house. Do you want to stay in your current home? Yes or no? If yes, you then need to move to another living community or move closer to family members. Some will say, yes, I want to retire to my village. And you never thought of going to the village to put a building there. It's erroneous. Some will say, I want to live with my family when I retire. And these are the family you tag as witches and wizards now, because one pastor or imam has said that they are your enemy. You are on your own. So, for you to think of where you want to retire, you must be closer to people. Being active with a network of friends is a major ingredient for happy retirement. You cannot live alone. You must be within the circles of your people, your family, your friends. So that when you retire, these are the people you associate together to keep lives going. And when you know, you must begin to plan how to stay in their midst. Not in a rented apartment, not in a shattered arena or a building. For those who doesn't prepare for the non-financial aspect of retirement, boredom and lack of purpose are commonly reported, which will lead to frustration, sickness, anger that shorten their life. It's a statement of facts. And that is why you see people retire within 1 year, 2 years, they say you just sleep, you couldn't wake. It's because when they diagnose and find out, some are sick because they never plan well. Because they never plan, anger aggravates high blood pressure in them and made them to slump and die. And that is why we need to plan well. Develop an asset allocation strategy and stick with it. When you have saved, which we said, start saving, stick to it, hold to it. Saving is not just to have that money lying idle somewhere. You must think and plan the kind of asset investment that you are going to put that saving. And you must weigh them, such as stock, bond, and cash assets. Keep some stock in your portfolio to hedge against what? Inflation. We are all accountants and we know what we call diversification. And we always use one language. Don't let us put our head into one basket. Diversify. Diversify. When you diversify, venturing into various kinds of sectors, It hedges against inflation and it minimizes your risk. If one investment is running into a loss, the other that is making net profit will negate or minimize the loss. Don't say, I must invest and put my money into one. Manufacturing company, every investment into manufacturing company. Or I want to invest, it is into bank, First Bank, Zenith Bank, Polaris, Wema. No, that is not the kind of investment we are talking about. One single policy of the federal government may affect banking sector and make you to lose all your investment. But you must ensure that when you invest in various sectors. Any solely retirement plan start with the right legal and investment guidance and advice. If you are confused, don't say, I know all. Seek for what? Advice. Let people that know more than you advise you. Today, people invest into farming. That you don't need to become a farmer. Your money will work for you in farm. You will just wait in 6 months' time, they will give you return on your investment. Why don't you go into that? But the point is that whatever kind of investment you are going to go into, ensure that it's actually evaluated. Don't be cajole. Don't be convinced. Don't be too greedy for money and gain. Don't go into investment. If you put 5,000, you will get 100,000 immediately. That is not the kind of investment I'm talking about. Government plan for happy retirement. If you look at it, part of the policy of government for we civil servants and even people in the private sector to have an happy retirement is the law that brings about contributory pension. Today, the total is 18%, 8% by the workers, 10% by the employee. If government can take that initiative and plan for you and I, what is your own plan for yourself? Plan to have a cash asset, liquid asset that can take care of your immediate need at early age of retirement when alert stop ringing. Whether we like it or not, Oracle will cut off and the alert will stop. But when it eventually stops, and you look at 22, 23, 25, nothing comes in, then it will be done on you that you have actually what? Retired. So what then is your plan? So you must think of that. Downsize your debt. It is wrong to have 1 year, 2 years to retirement and you are still servicing debt. And you carry that into your retirement period. It will shock up a person. By limiting new debt and reducing existing debt, when you are getting closer to your retirement time, don't embark on loan. It is not the time to start thinking of getting loan, except you want to get a loan for a credible business that the business will pay the interest and the principal. But not loan that you want to build. Not loan that you want to pay school fees for your children. Not loan that you want to buy cars or do marriage. Consider accelerating your mortgage. If you have treat, pay it off. If you have loan, pay it off. It will release you of tension when you retire. Pay off any debt, if possible, before you what? Retire. And curb new debt by paying cash for new and major purchase. Don't say they bring clothes, you must buy on credit. They bring shoe, you must buy on credit. They bring gold, you must buy on credit. All this, Ashebi, you must. No! Because when you retire, your first 2-3 years of retirement, you need cash. Whether you like it or not. You need what? Cash. And that cash must be resident somewhere that you can be drawing. This will minimize the amount of retirement income that you will spend on interest payment or offsetting the debt. So when the income during retirement begin to come, and you still have a debt you are servicing, it will reduce the income that will be available for you to use for yourself. Another step is to plan to live safely. The older you get, the more you realize you are not as invisible as you may have thought while you are younger. Some of us deceive ourselves. I'm under 16, especially ladies, under 18. Who says that? You better be sure of yourself. The older you get, the weaker you become. Therefore, you must watch your body, soul, and spirit so that you live a good life on retirement. You must take note of your surroundings, where you want to retire to. Ensure that it becomes more friendly and secure for you to live. Today, we hear of kidnapping here, kidnapping there. How will you look like when a retiree is kidnapped? You might say, yes, bad market, but I had one experience that happened in our area sometime. But I know it's either a known plan. The man retired from an institution, and 2 or some weeks after he got his pension, he was about to enter into his house and he was kidnapped. So in that case, you must ensure that where you want to live, the serene is safe. Be security conscious and plan to live in a safe environment. Maintain a general alertness regarding our surroundings. When it comes to the basic things of security in your environment, be involved. Wherever you are going to retire to, let them know you. Contribute to the securities of the environment. Because that is your home. That is where you are going to live. Therefore, begin to let them feel you there. Don't distance yourself. If you want to retire back to your village, begin to start going home. Once in weekend, go and socialize with them. Let them know you. So they will be able to know whom you are. And you too, you'll be able to know the environment you want to live and stay for the rest of your life. If there are security apparatus that needs to be put in place, you will know. Join age group in your community to socialize and keep talking. Make an association with people within that environment and begin to move with them. Nowadays, in most areas, they say retirees have a group, a network where they share. There was something that trade on network that a woman, the children are abroad. I do tell people, it's good to invest on our children nowadays, but don't plan on them for your retirement. That is the truth. Some will say, I am investing on my children because when I retire, they will be able to take care of me. Who says so? We all pray for them to take care of us, but plan for yourself. Outside there, what happened? if they travel out of the country? Who will take care of you? Prepare your relationship for your retirement. In retirement, this is between us, the husband and the wife. You must plan. It is not one-sided. Plan to continue to be important to make time for both. The children will go, only you will remain. When people are building house, at times when I go and I look at what they build, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom, I ask them questions. For whom? They say for the children today. When the children go, what happened to those gangatic house you build? And it becomes difficult to demarcate to even let out. Why don't you make them 2-bedroom or room and parlor? All of you can be using it now. When eventually they go, you let the other out, you restrict yourself to the minimal one that you, man and the woman, can stay. Although you may live with each other for years or decades, until you are together 24/7, you will not know yourself better. Because every day, the husband go out in the morning, the wife go out in the morning, and you come back and you eat. All of you rest to rest. Tomorrow, the following day, you wake up, you go. But when you begin to stay 24/7 in the house, you will know whom you are, who is she. You will know better. And that is why, as a man, you must ensure that you have something to bring money. When they begin to ask money, and you are saying, sorry, I'm coming, blah, 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 then you will see the true color of your wife. Prior to your retirement, you experience share interest as well as individual pursuit. This might be differ in retirement. I have seen a man that retired, and the woman also retire, but while they are planning, the woman go first, have a school, and the man retire and just felt that, okay, shebi my wife has a school, put on the clothes and say, let me go to the school. When he got there, the woman said, Daddy, what are you doing here? Say, I'm here. No, this is my school. This is my school. Eh? You get it? So, and that is why he said, nobody can plan your retirement for you, but you can only plan it for yourself. Open communication is important to avoid conflict and misunderstanding under the road. Understand health care issues. Most of us retire. More than 80% of today's retirees say health is the most important ingredient for happy retirement. For you to have, apart from money, your health is an ingredient. A lot of people have money, but they don't have good health. But for you to have good health in retirement, start now. Meaning that majority value good health even more than financial or security. Therefore, the best retirement plan involves not just finances, but ability to stay psychologically, mentally, and physically healthy in retirement. You must do things now to maintain your health, your body, your soul, so that when you retire, you have a physical, healthy life. Don't overwork yourself when in active service. I can do all. Leave, you will not go. 7, 8 o'clock, you are in the office. Saturday, Sunday, you are there. My brother, my sister, you are over-laboring your body. It will show and it will tell on you when you retire. Therefore, do what you can do and allow the rest to do the other aspect. Create time to rest now and relax. Ensure that you visit your doctor to know your health condition now and plan well. When you're supposed to rest, rest. When you're supposed to sleep, sleep. Don't be jack of all trade and master of none. Work. Go into sporting, gaming, eating, all kinds of things now to have a physical, healthy life and carry that into your retirement. The best sport for retirees is golf. Go and check. Join a golf club. Golf will make you to exercise your body. Will give you healthy and ability to balance physically, psychologically, and mentally. A golf player, they use all they have to play. When they use their mental, they use their physique, and when you sweat, other things that are not good for the body will come. Within the golf course, you walk kilometers that ordinarily you cannot do it on your own. So go into sporting, gymming, and so on and so forth. Guard what you eat and drink now. This may affect your health in retirement. A lot of us eat all kinds of food, drink all kinds of things, especially our men that are here. God will deliver us. Bulldozer, Koboko, Passion, and so on, all kinds of names you have all around now. Alomo, and so on and so forth. They come on. You enjoy them now, but do you know their effect upon your body? You will know the effect when you retire. Therefore, do away with them now. So that you don't just put any kind of drugs, medicine, herbals, not recommended on your body. Nowadays, stroke is becoming a common thing. Why? It's coming from what we eat, what we drink. And that is why you must guard yourself. Plan to stay better. Having a purpose and challenging yourself mentally, a great way to maintain a mental health. In conclusion, good planning will enhance better retirement experience. When you plan, it will make you to have a better retirement experience. Therefore, you must get ready psychologically, physically, mentally, and financially to enjoy a better retirement period. Are we there? So, you must psychologically be able to stand. Now, physically okay now, and mentally, and as I said earlier on, financially. To retire and live in comfort, planning is what? Essential. Why do we need to retire? And retires, people will be saying, we know this man when he's in active service, but our plan to retire is to have a good comfort. is to live a good life. It's people to see us and know that this man has really worked and is enjoying his what? Retirement. Therefore, you must plan now to retire very, very well. We have said that when is it the time to plan to retire? We said the time is what? Now. Tomorrow might be what? Too late. The best way to ensure continual financial freedom and financial security, regardless of the age of retirement, is to have a solid retirement plan. Start your financial security in retirement now. If you have not been saving, start to save. If you have not been thinking of your investment plan, start to think of that. If you have been investing in liabilities, Ashwebi, gold, motor, party, and so on and so forth, think otherwise now. Begin to think and invest in asset yielding and income yielding investment. Consider basic investment principle. And the principle says invest in assets and not in what? Liabilities. That is the simple principle of investment. A lot of us invest in liabilities. If a new phone comes today, we will buy. A lot of us have shoes that we don't need. We invest in clothes that we don't need. We invest in gold, chain we don't need. But if we invest in assets, it will bring income to us and it will better our life in retirement. Studies have shown that building and maintaining resources to assure a comfortable, worry-free retirement is the constant struggle for most people. When it is time for us to go, the fear of we don't know where we are going, the fear that we never plan is what makes a lot of us to begin to doctor age, doctors all kind of, when we join the service and so on and so forth. If you are sure and you have planned, nobody needs to come and knock at your door that it's time for you to go. You yourself know. And you will say, I am ready to go. Plan well. To do what? To retire well. Recommendation. Thank God that today somebody opened or put up a kind of bill at the assembly in respect of prohibiting workers from doing business outside farming. This has been a challenge for so many years. The law that established civil service says that you can't do any other thing except what? Farming. And it has made a lot of people to retire without retiring into anything. And when they even retire, they want to venture into business, they find out that they venture into a wrong business. And it runs into a lot of loss. And that is why there is an agitation now that government should amend the extant law that prohibits workers from doing business outside what? Farming. As long as that business is not going to contravene your activities at work. School of thought says that after 4 o'clock, weekend, you are on your own. But the present civil service day, 7 days, government owns you. But they are saying no, let there be freedom after closing hour. And on weekend, let there be freedom. Employers should assist employees to acquire pre-retirement skills. We have mentioned there are various skills that you can embark upon that will enhance your retirement if you are able to learn them now. If you are good in writing, we said you can write books. Ladies do alága ìdúró, ọkùnrin náà ń ṣe alága ìjókòó. Àbí? It doesn't stop you. You can go into that. And today, any wedding that is not, that one is not there. Kò tí ì pé nìyẹn. And most teachers, that is what they do now. You as an accountant, if you are good in that direction, who says you can't do it? Abi? If you know you are good in being to impact knowledge, why don't you improve on your education? Today we have so many private universities and many are still springing up. Who say when you retire at 60, as a lecturer, it is 70? If you retire at 60 and you join any university and lecture for the next 10 years, you keep your body and soul together. But for you to be there, you need to plan for it now. If you have BSc, you need to go back to school, get your master's, get your PhD, so that you can be relevant in that world environment. The song will say, I am going to read. Who says so? We have people that graduated at the age of 70 years. And they are there making life easy. More social safety net schemes should be provided for the aged, sick, poor, and widow. A friend, we are together in the service. Some years back, he resigned and traveled to Canada. Last year, he returned back to Nigeria. We met. I was in his house, and he said he has retired in Canada and is coming back to Nigeria. I said, to do what? He said, look, my retirement benefit without working, when I turn it to Naira, is 8 million Naira per month. And he said, what else does he want to do? So he's back in Nigeria. And while there, he has gone and improved himself educationally. He has 2 PhD. He's in 1 private university now. He's in Nigeria now, getting pension of 8 million and lecturing and still getting salary. And the wife and the children are in Canada. When he feel like going, he travel down there and come back. It's because he planned for his what? Retirement. Banks and insurance companies should provide attractive and special interest investment products for retiring public servants. Those are recommendations. And people have been talking about this. Why should we retire and languish in poverty after putting in 35 years in the service? We must retire and be better off. Pension Fund Administration minimize delay in payment of retirement benefit from the present 2 to 3 years payment period. Let's look back and look at those that retire. How soon did they get their pension? The law says immediate. But are we achieving that immediate? Bureaucracy has created the problem. Getting filed from one place to the another will take another 1.5 years. Getting your records together is another challenge, another problem. Before they now say, some of you know the law started in 2017 in Lagos State. I mean 207, sorry, in Lagos State. People that came in before 207, you will need to get bond. And if that bond is not ready, the pension administrator will not answer you. So within that period, You are looking and waiting. What are you going to use to survive? And that is why you must plan for that now. Bureaucracy system of operation of assessing old scheme bond and entitlement should be eradicated. Some of us seated there are part of the bureaucracy. We are not helping matter. Let's say the truth. What we're supposed to do on our table, we don't do it on time. And it's affecting lives. Human beings are the one working in those various offices. Why the delay? And two, why do we wait that when we retire is when we start running to gather our paper? 6 months, 1 year before retirement, when you know you are going, why don't you gather your paper and begin to process it? But because you are not sure, we are not ready, we are not thinking of retiring, we never think of gathering our paper to process it. And this is a time for us to change and begin to. So when your retirement period is very close, to avoid any kind of bureaucracies and delay in your papers, start in what? Earnest. Extant laws on withdrawal policy should be looked into and be beneficiary to. If you look at the present pension law, it has been taken to court where they say that you can only take 50%. It's my money now. If I want to take the money, let me take it and invest it. And that is why he said the extant law is supposed to be looked into. Allow up to 70-75% to be withdrawn. So that when you have your money, you have what you want to use it for. Sorry. You can use it. If you like, go and use it to marry. It's been your money. But today, they will say no. It has just to be like that. So, thank you for listening.
No, that was the question. Thank you, sir. Physically present. I don't know if you have any question before you start attending to Zoom people. Question. Or, first and foremost, I'm very sorry for not introducing the facilitator to us. He's equally a member of staff from local government, council treasurer, and is also a level 17 officer, Dr. Adekoya. Can you give me, please, round of applause? Thank you very much. Yeah, during the course of discussion, let me just try to wrap up some things he mentioned. He did mention about farming, savings, and some other things. You see, and I'm very happy when he was talking about, specifically when he was talking about farming, he said it's not something you can start with your pension fund. Sincerely speaking, I've seen a retiring officer that asked me, Kayode, you fẹ́ ṣe farming. Man, no, pension ṣe farming, sir. Since you have, except if you want to start by doing broiler in your home, then you learn over time. But pension money, you can't use it to do it. 2, if you want to start saving, during the conclusion, it said mention of insurance. There are certain savings in insurance scheme that you can save your money. Don't look at the interest. What you are doing is savings for retirement. By the time you key for 3 years, 5 years, you compounding the first 3 years. If you are retiring in the next 5 years, you can still key into those programs. You can still key into it. Savings with insurance company. For the interest is very small, as he has said. Very, very small. We have some insurance company that is doing that. 3, some of us have allowed religions to turn us into another thing. I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry. Please, I'm very, very sorry. Some people, I have a friend of mine living in where I'm living. He said, yeah, I'm not doing cooperative. It's a ram. I said, if you need money, where will you run to? I said, if you need money, where will you run to? Yes, there is zero interest. And I've seen a lot of them having challenges when it comes to withdrawing. Yes, please, don't let us put sentiment into what we are doing. Please. You know what he said? So he said the Oga forced them to join the cooperative. Both Christian and Muslim at that time. Everybody was doing that cooperative. And when you go to cooperative, you withdraw your money out. Up till today. Some cooperative are doing special savings aside your cooperative savings. Key into that special savings now. Special savings, even if it is for 2 years, 3 years, by the time you are leaving, that is the money you can easily access. You can easily access that money. We call it special savings. If it is 5,000 naira, just put in 5,000 times 12, that's 60,000. And by the time you sum it off in 5 years, that's 600,000. No matter how bad the naira is, as bad as any other thing, you can't finish 600 except if you want to be going to Sheraton to eat morning, evening, night. But if it's with your I didn't say, I said at least you can't quickly finish it. So I'm just using 5 years as an example. I said no matter how, that's 600,000. If it's for you to eat, all things being equal, you'll be going to hotel to eat, and we don't pray for sickness. So please, this program, we've designed this. Let me be sincere with everybody. I was highly disappointed. We said we are starting by 2 because I'm on Zoom. I know. That's why I say I'm on this, because look at, we are more than 300, 400 in the service, including local government. How many of us? We are not up to 100. So that means we are not encouraging us to put up this kind of program again. I'm a sincere person. So that means you are not allowing us, we are not encouraging us to put this kind of program again. And it's very, very important. So question and answer, both Zoom and physical. Yeah, Mr. Ambali.
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, I want to commend Dr. Adekoya for this wonderful presentation. I count myself lucky. My name is Ambali Abiodun Kabiru, FCA. I count myself lucky to have been part of your lecture. In fact, I must say, just as I told my partner that we sat together, everything that I jotted down that I want to comment on at the end of your presentation were not only touched, but they were touched extensively. So I'm really happy with your presentation. It is wonderful. And the quality of delivery is also very, very high. And I want to seize this opportunity to pray to God Almighty to continue to increase you in knowledge and wisdom. So that is the first thing that I want to say. The second area dealt on what is happening in the country. I'm a student of economics, and there is a theory in economics that is called the life cycle hypothesis by Franco Modigliani. And what does this theory say? The theory simply says that while you are in active service, you earn enough income and develop a saving culture such that when you get to retirement, you now fall back on the savings that you have made while you are working, because every human being wants to maintain a steady life cycle consumption or a steady consumptive pattern. But it is unfortunate that in this country now, the amount of income that is earned by everybody across all strata of employment, except the politicians, they are not even enough to feed now, talk less of savings. And if I may make allusion to what you just said, that a friend of yours who had worked and retired in Nigeria moved to Canada, and within little period that he worked in Canada, is entitled to a retirement benefit of about 8 million naira per month. This is an amount that even a permanent secretary cannot earn in Nigeria. So how do you save? How do you plan? And these are the things that makes people to fidget about retirement. These are the things that create retirement anxiety. But given what you have said, no matter what, we must still save. Because just as my president said, whatever you are able to gather at your retirement is still available for your consumption. So that is that. So if the government can increase the level of payment to workers, I think they'll be able to save better for their employment. For instance, in another example, I was a footballer and I've been following the game of football for more than 4 decades. You see, I was stunned when I learned that Lionel Messi, who has spent most part of his footballing career in Barcelona, now moved to PSG to earn $500,000 per week. $500,000, that's about 330 million in a week. 330 million naira in a week. So what would make him to be afraid of retirement? He can retire into happiness. He can retire into whatever he likes. Even 30 million naira, we may not be able to earn in 35 years of service. So these are the things that make retirement to become a threat, to become worrisome to us. Presently, we are earning an amount of income that will make us poor at retirement. So government needs to do something about this. And if government is not doing anything about it, I think the onus is on us to improve our income earning abilities so that we can retire into happiness. Then the second aspect I want to talk on, the third, a non-financial aspect of retirement. For most of us, this may not be relevant again, given our age, but for our children and the generation coming, we need to advise them along this line. One, it is imperative that we must have our own house. You must live in own house. Why most people are not thinking along this line is because they think that if they want to build a house, it must be in decent environment. Say Central Business District, Surulere, Lagos Island, Lekki, Magodo, and what have you. This may not come very handy. And in fact, those places were developed by yesterday generations. So they should look at developing areas. And what is most important is that everybody must have their own house if you want to retire into happiness. Because at the end of every year, particularly during the festive period, rental obligations fall due. So we must advise the generation coming that owning their own house is as important as owning their life. That is one thing. Then secondly, we must, still on the non-financial aspect, we must advise the generation coming, and if it's still relevant to us, we must do this. We must marry early. It is important. Yes, we must marry early. We must encourage early marriage. For instance, you find most ladies between the age bracket of 35 to 40 that are not yet married. Even if you are a man, by the time you have your first child at the age of 40, by the time you retire at the age of 60, the child will just have been 20 years. And you will still be spending a lot of money on their education. And this will come from the money that you have earned for your own retirement. Most of our parents, by age of 35, they've stopped rearing children. And that is why they can retire and still not be burdening themselves with school fees and other financial obligations. And finally, for us men, This is also very important. We must keep our relationship with our wives very, very cordial. We must ensure that we manage relationship with our wives and vice versa, because these are the people, and not vice versa. Let me be factual. I'm talking about us men, because these are the people that are going to take care of us when we retire. And when we don't have good relationship with them now that we are in our active age, women can keep things, and at retirement, it will be payback time for us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me quickly make a comment on some of the issues you raised. One of them, the fact that talking about the issue of saving and building house and so on and so forth. Like I said, nobody is above a mistake. And when a mistake is made, that does not mean that it must be carried forward. Anytime you realize that you have made a mistake, you can make a U-turn. No matter how old you are, you can still amend. So I'm not of the opinion that what we are talking about, there is not much relevant to some of us that are here because of our age. No. For instance, I think 2 years ago or last year, if I may be sure, an uncle of mine called me and said in his office, and to be specific, that is in PSO office, he met somebody there while discussing, and this is a level 15 or 16 officers, that in the course of discussion, is still in a government house with nothing, property, landed or whatsoever. And he discussed with him, and on that basis, he wanted to assist him to get a place. I also try as much as possible to search. I went around, I met people in my area, and we got a very good land. How much was it? I think 1.2 million for him to come and buy. And one Saturday, he said the guy was there with the wife, and the wife said, because I stay in Ikorodu, Ikorodu is too far. You get it? Like what you said, it is not about where you are. It's about having it. Magodo today was once a bush. Ebutemeta today was once a bush. K2 and so on was once a bush. But people came in one by one to develop the place. Even if you are staying in a place now, just buy it, build it, and rent it out. So that when the place becomes city and you retire, you have a place to go. So, rather than where I stay, I could say in my street I was the first person that got there. And I bought the land there for 100,000 naira. And at that time, it was 2 plots of land. I bought it for 200,000 to be specific. But today, a land goes for 5 million, 7 million there today. Now, if I waited that I want to buy now to go and build, where am I going to get 7 million, 8 million? That is the asking price for land in my area now. So if you have money, whether bush or not, invest there. I do tell people, what you need to ask yourself, the land you want to buy, is anybody behind you? Anybody beside you? Anybody in front of you? If yes, one by one, they will start coming. And that bush will become city. I have a colleague that retired. When he was being chased out of his house, a rented apartment, I was called on phone. I say it's not possible. No. This person, me, tell. You told me, immediately I took phone to confirm. And I found out that it's a reality. And I started calling some of our other colleagues. We need to get in touch and assist. The first person I called, the moment I mentioned his name, Mba. And that one said, you know what? I will tell you to call somebody who happens to be his best man and a very close friend and also a colleague. And I called that one. The wife was with him and he talked to me. He said, Ọ̀gbẹ́ni, fi ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni yẹn lẹ̀ o. Where Ikorodu tó ń wà, at the point he wanted to buy the land, he called him. He said, no, I can't come into this bush. This bush. That is how it lives. So what we are saying is not a matter of age. It's a matter of ability to do the right thing. And when you talk of saving salary small, there is a theory that says that if you are earning 100 naira, you cannot keep 10% of it. If you are earning 1 million, 10% of it will be difficult for you to keep. It is not about the magnitudes of how much you earn. If you are talking of what you earn, why is it that a manager in a company is unable to buy a land and build a house, while a gate man, a cleaner, was able to buy and build? Is it about salary? It's about your saving culture. There are many things you need to do away with if you want to achieve results in certain directions. There are many things we spend money upon that are not adding value to our life. Let's tell ourselves the bitter truth. And we do away with things that we add value. We spend much on liability than to spend on assets. If they are doing parties in our office, one match of 20,000, 40,000, we have money to buy, but we don't have 10,000 to save. Where do we get 40,000 to buy clothes? Where do we get 150,000 to buy iPhone? But we cannot save 1,000 naira, 5,000 naira. Let's look at it. Some buy phone 150. Tomorrow, ni hold up, Olega. They look at you and you will even say, sorry, sir. And they are selling land somewhere for 150, you can't buy. You say it's a bush. What are you doing with 4 cars in a landlord house? Mobility is what car represents. You are a civil servant. Why must you buy car a manager of a bank buy? Are you in the same salary? So these are issues that we need to look into. If really we want to really plan for our what? Retirement. And that is why I say, save now. Keep on saving and stick what? To saving. If you can't do that, you cannot achieve anything on retirement. A lot of people will look back. I have an uncle that will say, when licensing was licenses in Lagos, I'm a make owo gan. But I ask, where is the money? So those are things that I want us to look into, so that we don't continue to carry the mistake on and on. I think the purpose of seminar is to open our mind and for us to have a rethink and redirect our footsteps. Things that we feel is good we are doing, to know that we are not moving in the right direction. No matter how long you are going to spend on the service, the journey will come to an end one day. And the question is, how do you plan towards that ending time? That is the question. And God will help us. Thank you.
Please, if you are for people on Zoom, if you are within the STO corridor, kindly type 111. Let's know the number of people at the STO corridor. We are bringing your food in the next 10 minutes. Please, kindly indicate by typing on the chat box, please. For people at the STO, within the STO corridor. We are here now. Look, please indicate by typing on the chat box, please. Somebody is bringing your food, just one. Okay. I we need the STO corridor, please. Can you indicate, please? Only one. No. There are lots of options. No, I said, no. Yes. Sending food to them. You should not give them food. Okay, don't be annoyed. Don't be annoyed. Don't be annoyed.
So,
sorry, sir. Any other question?
So, any question? Okay, Mr. Lamidi. What is the question? Okay. Turn off the. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Let me quickly address. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. You see, like I said earlier on, most of the things, is good for us. It's good for us to put blame on government. I do ask question, who is this government? Who are these heads? So don't let us, and that is why the message cut across. Various offices in questions are manned by you and I. You'll be, sometimes ago, at our own commission, that is Local Government Service Commission. Every time you want to go for an interview, promotion, they keep on asking, bring photocopy of your letter of appointment, bring photocopy of your confirmation, bring photocopy of this, that. And I ask question that, does it mean that all these you are asking for are not in the file? Where do they emanate from? Is it not from the same office? And there was a time, that was when I want to get my promotion from level 15 to 16. I was in the office, somebody just called me then and said, my attention is needed that they could not get my file, that for to do my promotion letter. And I asked the person, why are you calling me? Am I the one to come and search for the file? So I left office and I got to the commission. When I got to the commission, I said, okay, here I am. Within few minutes, they said they've seen the file. You get it? I agree with you. Many things that we need to do away with paperwork in this modern day. That is the truth. If you have a record of when I joined the service, and through the service, I've been taking promotion, and you know when I'm going to leave the service based on the age I recorded or the length of service that I will have filled. I should not have any problem when I'm going. Now, they will say that at the point of retiring, you are the one to go from where you have served, giving you form, go and fill, sign. Do we need all those ones? Who are the designers of that system? Is you and I. Who are the leaders? You get it? And that is why we are having new innovation in the system now. Things cannot change over the night. The idea you have, sell it to those there. We're supposed not to do this thing like this. Mr. Mbali, I'm sorry to say, you are in the office of Auditor General. When you people come, local government, when you come for audit, the same talent I have, some of you know that a lot of them know me. I do ask, audit file, is it not in your office? That the same question the first person has to provide, the same thing those that comes next will be asking to provide. Is there no transfer of audit file? But why asking? We want to get your budget. We want to get this. Waiting. You get it? And thank God for the new auditors on ground. We had meeting here on Monday. Part of the things that we are agitating for is what is trying to put on board now. Why do we need to do quarterly audit? It's not internal.
It is external. If it's internal, your duty is to monitor and do quarterly, monthly, weekly, hourly, if you want to do it. But as an external, you are to come, the word external, to come and confirm what has happened over a particular period. And thank God for the new person. These are issues I have raised for so many years. Why do we need to present 10 copies of financial statement to your office? Those are issues I have raised so many years. But they will say, no, we need it. And the new man on board has said, it has become a document. We will present to you the soft copy. If you have soft copy, if you want to print 100 copies in your office, can't you print it? But you say, produce soft copy. Print 10 copies of hard copy. For what? So these are changes we are talking about. That let's leave old system. When new set of people like you are mounting the leadership post, change the scenario. Let us do things now the way it's supposed to be in line with modern day technological approach. So, issue of bond you have said, nothing wrong that 3-4 people are going. Send their bond to last year. Why must it take 2 years, 3 years to send their bond? And last year we say that if we don't see bond, we cannot consolidate. And people will stay for 2-3 years before they get something. What will they hit within 2-3 years? Nothing conforming. And last has stopped. And that is why I said, government cannot plan your retirement for you. You must do it yourself. So, for you to live a good life in retirement, plan it now. Think of what is happening now. Like now, you know that people that retire, it takes 2-3 years for them to get anything. And within that period, think that what am I going to eat? For me not to be suffocated with hunger, I must plan it now. So that if the money comes or it does not come, I will live my life. And as I said, it has been established that you will need 70 to 80-90% of your present income to survive. And that is why the first 2 years of your retirement, what you need is what? Money, money, money. And when you say money, cash flow money, ceaseless money, to make body and soul together, so that you will not become non-entity within your environment and within the family. Are we there? Any other question? Any question? Okay.
Akin Tairu is my name, FCA. My own is not a question per se, but to appreciate the organizer of this workshop. I am a beneficiary of today's program already as a retiree of Lagos State. And I'll start my appreciation from the guest speaker, that's Dr. Adekoya. So, Dr. Adekoya, yes, FCA. I've known you for a very long time. You know, I'm part of local government or whatever. You know, I retired as director of local government pension. So what I'm going next is that, number one, don't let me forget that your paper is very insightful and impactful and, educative. People will appreciate it at retirement. I know I've gone through several retirement programs and all the rest, and I know what it means. A lot of things you mentioned today is what I practice. I used to tell some of my people, like 5 years back, that why am I an accountant if I cannot plan my retirement by now? For information, I crossed over from private sector to Lagos State. In 2004, when the new contribution pension came on board, that was during the former president, Pastor Josera. I remember it was what's the name of that man from GT? Fola Adeola. They were the people that did it for federal government then. So in 2004, I'm trying to go down the memory line. When it started, I saw it coming. So I was involved in the private sector. We used to KPMG, pension, whatever then. I told them, this thing is taking a new shape. And I want to lift now. Let me lift and make the new thing. On getting to Lagos State, did not start until 2007. I remember then. So when it came in 2007, at STO then, we started doing some mathematics. That was this issue of bond. And the only challenge on bonding then, thank God for Lagos State, they are excelling and they are up to their billing. That is, budget provision is the issue. I will not talk more than that. Budget provision. Ordinarily, last spec is also doing wonderfully well. Right from the former woman there, up to the current guy, they are doing very well. If you go and check the record, you see that they are doing, and the government too is also very magnanimous in ensuring that the bond of a thing. But Nigeria factor, I don't see anything stopping me. Keep the old something record there. When they are true, invite me to come and collect my money. Then the one that I know I collect my certificate and the statement of account. Pay me and let me move forward. Fine, you've given us a leadway. You know, Yoruba man will say, so that you'll be thinking that before they start calling me, because PSO is also doing their own, honestly speaking. But you said some of us, HOS will not do it for you. Director of Post Service is not doing it for you. When they say from Oracle will flag it. You know, your person will always show them this is your last day in office. And they will tell you 1 year or 6 months before retirement, start processing that. Religiously, I did that. Before I left, I started receiving my own paper, and people are calling me, your file is this and that. When I got to Auditor General, the current Auditor General local government ministers, Ogunlano, he saw my family started said, yes, it's time for me to go. And within a short period of time, I just had, a message from the last week that my file is already there, even though I was a pension family, we go for the meeting there. But then I try to move with time and ensure that things are put in the proper perspective. They will not pursue you. You have to carry your whatever yourself. And you don't need to go in there all the time. Thank God for the technology. A lot of things will come online. Then once you submit, nobody wants to see your face all the time. I know. So the only thing I would advise is that this message is beyond this our meeting today. Let everybody start thinking. It's just that if you go to university today, you get letter of admission, that this and that. If you're thinking of when I'm going to graduate, 4 years BSc accounting or BSc whatever, no carryover. So before it gets to that time, you have to make sure that you start doing something. And also try and encourage ourselves to do what we call saving culture. In any way you can save, a little drop of water, make a big ocean. That one will give you comfort. By the time they say, you are looking fine, you are doing fine. Yes, no financial stress. So apart from all these people that go outside the normal way, you are retiring and you are marrying a new wife. And where is the income? And in the office now, there is no way you can put something that will not fly. Before you know, even whatever the control is there now, I hardly see any leakage in the Lagos State finances because you cannot pay prime. PS, you have to confirm, the banker will come, or that this check today, can we pay? They are your friend, but they will report you behind. So in a nutshell, please let us make sure we cultivate that habit. That is saving culture. It's very, very important. No matter how little you want to put somewhere, like he has said, because his paper is, I'm happy for him coming around. He has done justice to it. Very insightful and provocative. What I mean by provocative is that it's provoking something out of me again, that so God has put me on the right pedestal when I was in service. The only thing I did was 1 or 2, 3 of these insurance people, they come to the office, okay, this and I said, I will soon be going. I said, okay, if it is 2 years. So I told them, by so date, I will have my money. This thing started coming, even zero interest cooperative. By June last year, I said 0 interest, close shop. If you fail to do that, I'll go to CPDB. No more deduction. Then give me my statement of account. Before they begged me, they called me, your money is ready. Transfer it to Access Bank. The next day I had my alert. I just realized, yeah, which is the next level now. There are a lot of passive investment around. Passive. Alaja, are you there? You know, passive. Your money will work for you. Most of why we are content that we cannot think outside the box and let this thing, let it. We went to school, they've taught us everything. You say a lot of things about Modiglani and this issue. The same thing goes for Pareto optimality. You all learn about it. Why can't you apply? So, my brothers and sisters, and those on the virtual, let us start today. Don't wait for, I don't want anything that will bring inflation into Nigeria again. That the government should increase wages. Which wages are you increasing? The next day, the yellow buses, they will tell you, this is Oshodi to that place that you normally take for 10 naira. All of us cannot get right because there is capacity of infrastructure. There is little they can expand the road in Lagos State. If you put all the vehicles on the road today, everybody will be on the queue now. From VI to K2 Junction, you travel for 3 hours, and those boys are ready. As soon as it's dark, they want to have their shares. They are coming from, you know. So let's leave it like that. But I want to solve this, assist all with that your paper, so that people can go back home and revise and get more, information and more useful tips. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just remember that Mr. Lamidi mentioned the issue of what happened, government taking out of the pension fund. And they said, are we sure? You see, I did a paper in 2019, pension fund for infrastructural development in Nigeria. I'm going to other countries like Canada, Japan, China. Most of the infrastructural structures you have there were funded through pension fund. You get it? So, but the point is that in Nigeria, we need to ensure that what I'm saying is that taking loan, taking fund for, because the money there is lying fallow. You get it? And rather than the law allow it, but the genuinity of it, so that to remove the fear that anti-Jehovah. Yeah, so like if you look at what I have in US now, we have California Public Employment Retirement Scheme, which is $234.5 billion. That is the position of that. And they give this loan to finance the infrastructure in US. Also, when you look at California State Teachers Retirement System, has $166.36 billion. And New York City combined retirement system, $150.9 billion. And we have also in Japan, where we have all these investments. The government there approached them, source for this money, and use it to invest it on rail line, airport, road, manufacturing, and the multiplier effect of all those things build and added values to the economy. So government sourcing fund from pension fund is not out of the way, but sincerity, genuinity of that utilization of the fund is the major thing. And the fund source for is not that the money will not be repaid. It is tagged attached to the federation, the consolidated account of the federal government. The money will be taken off from there to repay to the pension fund. But if the government does not take the money, it will just lie down in the current account and other sector, you get it. So it's not a waste. It's not, but we pray that what they are investing the money upon is genuine,
they were sincere, and ability to pay back. Are we there? So thank you very much.